Who would have known that something as simple as an enchilada would be the death of this dude, man? It's unfortunate. But my man Demon, Black Bull and Horror, man. Another Miguel A. Nunez video. I think the last one I did was him playing Spider in Return of the Living Dead. But shout out to Creature Pod, man. I told you I got you. Creature Pod asked me in the comments, yo, did you do them damn enchiladas? I said, I got you. So Demon's an interesting character, man. A really unique character. Do I feel like he got a rotten deal in this movie? Yeah, but him being, they couldn't have two token black guys survive. Very rarely does that happen in a slasher movie. But Reggie the Reckless survives, so big shout out to Shavar Ross. But Anita dies, she's black. Demon dies, Vernon dies. We were in the building in this movie though. I can appreciate that. But Demon, in my mind, Demon in an alternate universe is the brother of Spider from the Return of the Living Dead. Like, they were twin brothers, man. Separated at birth somewhere across the horror verse. But Demon is just, from his look to just his energy on screen is great. And that's Miguel A. Nunez brings that to every horror movie he's in. He makes his characters interesting and entertaining to watch. But Demon, he's an interesting character because when we see him, he's living in this trailer park where he's visiting in town in this trailer park. But he's got whatever snack you need that you get when you order out, he's got it in there. And it's like, a part of me always wishes he had more screen time. Maybe would have died a little bit later in the movie. But obviously, this movie, Jason's killing 2 to 3 people in every scene he's in. Well, not Jason. I'm sorry. Roy Burns. Spoiler alert. It's not Jason. Now, was her neck supposed to be pulsating like that? Were they letting us know that she was not dead all the way? Another thing about Spider-Man, you feel bad for him during this death sequence. Because Miguel A. Nunez is acting his ass off. He genuinely looks he looks terrified, man. And who wouldn't be terrified? I think one of the scariest things about this scene, it's not his acting. It's not the fact that he's about to get murdered. It's not being closed in an outhouse and somebody stabbing a fucking steel javelin through it. I think the scariest thing about this scene is he did not wipe his ass. He did not wipe his ass, man. And you got leather pants on, bruh. Leather snakeskin pants. I don't know how that works, but let me say something about, I'm showing love to Miguel A. Nunez as Demon, Black Bull, and Horror, but let me just say something about Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. It's kind of crazy because I feel like everybody that genuinely hates this movie, they love the first one. Jason's not the killer in this movie. He's not the killer in the first one either. It's basically the same formula. Even down to only seeing the weapon when Roy kills, or the hands with the weapon in it. You only see his hands on the handle of an axe, on the handles of the shears, a cleaver, whatever the case may be. Like, it's the same formula when you see these kills. And you don't really see them in full gear until the end of the movie. But I can honestly say, as a kid, when I first saw this was a Jason movie. This was a Friday the 13th movie up until they revealed that it was Roy Burns. I did not for once feel like it was a copycat. But I think that we've been conditioned to watch this movie today and just want to dislike it because you watch it and it's like, yeah, I know that's not Roy. I know that's not Roy. But we all know the first time we watched this, we weren't savvy to that kind of shit back in the day. We weren't savvy to the fact that, well, he doesn't move like Jason. His ears don't look like Jason. Is he deformed? We weren't savvy to none of that. We thought it was Jason. And yeah, they pull a rug from up under you, man. This is, look, the Friday the 13th franchise is one of the ballsiest franchises in the world, Craig. In the world, because it's like, okay, Jason, the killer's the mom in the first one. But then the son pops out the lake. Is it real or not? So let's make the son the killer with a bag over his head in part 2. Let's change his mask entirely and his entire costume in part 3 and give him an iconic mask. Let's kill him off in part 4. Let's copycat in part 5. Let's bring him back to life and make him zombified in part 6. Let's have him fight Carrie in part 7. Let's take him to so on and so forth, man. This series does whatever the fuck it wants. This series, low key, has carte blanche, almost no, not almost as carte blanche as Nightmare on Elm Street. That's a whole different ball game. But you know, they play by their own rules, man. And it makes for whatever you want in whatever sequel. You know, people pick and choose, but I love this. I think this is the most underrated. I go back and forth because sometimes I think the New Blood is the most underrated entry, but this one for sure. I know it's not Jason, but it's not to say that I still don't have a fucking ball every single time I watch this. It's got arguably the greatest characters next to the final chapter in the whole franchise. And maybe I just relate too much to some of these characters because they got the whole social misfit, outcast type of thing going on. But another thing I compliment this movie on is the fact that I don't know if it's because Miguel Nunez is in this and Return of the Living Dead or because they came out the same year. And Mark Venturini, recipe shout out to him. He's in both this and Return of the Living Dead. I don't know if it's the connections between the two, but like Demon, Anita, and Violet for sure seem like they belonged in that group of characters in Return of the Living Dead. They all seem like they hung out together. They all seem like they shopped at the same Hot Topic spin-off store together. But I'm showing love to this movie as a whole, and to my man Demon, Miguel A. Nunez Jr. in this movie.